Hey everybody, welcome back to FSP Forex-Stock Predictions. Hope you are all having a great day. I am the Vortex Trader, and today we have a potential double bottom on Euro USD in the 4-hour time frame. Let's get right into it. All right, guys, before we jump into this chart, please remember to check out our website below in the description, Forex-Stock-Predictions.com. We have a fantastic lineup of brilliant traders that all post their thoughts and analysis across the entire financial market spectrum. It's a great tool to utilize. It is really cool to see how these different traders see their charts and see how they work their technical analysis and how they use their particular strategies to take advantage of the markets. Okay. But today we are on Euro USD in the 4-hour. We have a potential double bottom, right, playing out. Now, what have we seen? We have seen nothing but bearish price action, right? On the daily, on the 4-hour, we have seen the bears really come out in full force. Now, on the 4-hour chart, since the 11th of August, we have seen this sort of trend line form, right? Showing price being pushing downwards, okay? Eventually, we came down, formed one little bottom on the left-hand side, formed another little bottom on the right-hand side. There's two peaks, okay? Across these two peaks, we have divergence, full divergence on the MACD, all right? Our histogram is weakening. Our MA lines are weakening. We have a nice cross there on the MA line, so we do have something that shows us that it is possible for the bulls to come in and take control. Now, it is also lining up nicely against the edge of this trend line. So we are either going to see price bounce off of this trend line and carry on lower, right? Or we're going to see a double bottom play out, or we're going to see price just meander sideways and not do anything, which is also very possible, especially with the double bottoms, especially at crucial support levels, which is where we are at currently. Okay, so there are certain rules and criteria that have to be met in order for me to jump in to a position like this and to go long. Because remember, going long when the bias is completely bearish is going counter trend. All right, so we have to be certain, we have to make sure that our rules are met. There's no point in us in just jumping in long and hoping, because hope is only a 4-letter word, and in the markets it means F-bomb all. Okay, it means nothing. All right, so let's put a neckline zone right here, and I'll show you what I will be looking for. So this is clearly resistance. All right, this yellow zone is resistance. We can see we came up once, got rejected, came up again, wicked into it again, got rejected, and only now trying to slowly meander our way up there with very low volume. All right, what I would be looking for is strong volume to appear, right, to close at least a little bit higher than where we are right now, just outside of this trend line, right? What would be even better would be to close this candle on top of the resistance zone. We still have just under 2 hours left before this candle closes. All right. And then once that happens, I would be looking for a retrace back in to the neckline. All right. Somewhere as deep as I would like it, which is normally right at the bottom. I am a conservative, patient swing trader. I don't jump in. My entries happen more rarely because I wait for the giant pullbacks before getting in. Okay, but that is just my personal preference of trading. Some guys will wait for a retrace barely to the top of this neckline, some in the middle, and some, just like me, right down below. All right, so I'm thinking somewhere in the lower regions of this quite large resistance neckline zone. Okay, once that happens, there are two areas that I could look for potential targets. All right. And they are both previous price structure. Okay. And there are actually also order blocks which could give a nice entry to go short. This is why when we are playing a certain setup, we have to be confident of the things that we are seeing in order for us to get, confidence to jump in. All right. So here are my two regions for targets. All right, the first being the 1,008 price level, the second being the 1,01, nearly 1,02 price level. If we go right up there, yes, let's push it up to the top wick. It's a nice psychological round number, and we know that retail traders do love our psychological whole numbers. All right, then I would put my long position tool on there, and I would look for that retrace. Remember, the the retrace that would happen if it would close above and come back down would coincide nicely with retesting this trend line and flipping it to support. Because once it was resistance, right, then we flip it to support, which could give us a nice bounce. So the first target would be up here. Second target would be up there. You could take profits off the table and scale out of this sort of position. Stop loss, I would put just below previous the middle price structure of double bottoms is where I normally like to place my stop, a couple of pips below it. But however, as I am conservative, I would always aim for, at least for something like this, I would like a 1 to 4 or a 1 to 3. But with something like this, you could even get a 1 to 5, but it all depends on where you place your stop or your entry. Because notice, if we place our entry there, right, it barely gives us a 1 to 2, especially if we were only targeting this region right here. In order for this region to give us a nice risk to reward, we have to really pick up our stop and place it just below the neckline. And if we did that, we would barely get a 1 to 5. So do you see why I enjoy and prefer placing my entry as deep down into these neckline zones as possible? Okay, it doesn't mean that I'm going to get my entry. It doesn't mean that I'm going to get this position and jump into it. Not at all, right? It's just what I prefer waiting for, all right? I practice patience, and believe me, waiting for setups can take a lot of time. But that's all good because I know that the setups that I like to wait for, if the criteria is met, the probability of me hitting my target is much greater. This is why I wait. All right. So guys, target number 1, target number 2. This is also an order block region right here, which could be a great region to go short. If price does come up nicely and hit there, we could reverse the trade and start looking for another short entry. All right, these are all things that we should pay attention to. Trying to look ahead, right, and see what we can see. All right, without trying to tell the future, because no one can tell the future, and there is no such thing as a crystal ball in the markets. Although I wish there was, because then we would all be trillionaires. Okay, but we only jump in if our list of rules and criteria are met. So we do have the full divergence. The one thing I'm waiting for right now is large volume to show up and for a close at least above this trend line and above that neckline zone, right? But we do need the strong volume to come with it. If I don't see the strong volume, well, then I probably will not be looking for an entry. You see, the strong volume confirms to me that the bulls are back because we are still under bearish territory, right? There's nothing stopping price just rejecting off this trend line and carrying on lower. Okay. And if you guys look closely, here is another thing to be aware of. Look at this order block right there. I'm just going to highlight it in a different color, which we have already wicked into. So this could potentially be a zone which some traders are already shorting. Okay, so you see how this is a fight literally between the bulls and the bears right now. The euro and the dollar, it's under 1 to 1. I mean, it hasn't been this way for many, many, many years. So it might not be the safest idea to jump in right now with so much price action going on because there is a fight in this zone. Guys that are trading the order block would be doing something like this, opening up a short position, a couple of pips above the order block region and targeting the lower lows and for price to even go lower. And look at that entry. That's at least a 1 to 8, depending where you place your stop. Yes, you can trade both of them, right? But just backtest. Backtest before you do this kind of thing because now you're playing one against the other. All right. So let's see what happens. And this is why I also say we need the volume. We need the volume. If we are going long, we need the volume because currently we are still very, very much bearish. All right, guys. So On that note, let's wrap up today's video. If you find this information helpful, if you enjoy these videos, guys, please would you go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that little notification bell so you can be notified when we release more videos. All right, help us grow this channel to 200 subs. It's getting bigger and bigger, and with your help, we hopefully plan to reach the stars, right? Thank you so much for watching, and I will be seeing you all in the next video. See you later.